Hello people. This is my death battle reaction for Simone the Digger versus Kyle Rayner the White Lantern. I've been a big fan of death battle for a long time, actually, maybe since 2022, around when this channel started. And this is my first death battle reaction here. I thought I'd make it this episode in particular the first time we do a reaction because I'm a big fan of Gurren Lagann for surprisingly 4 months. Actually, I started in January earlier this year, and I just really fell in love with it. So there we go. From what I know, both the combatants here are the GOATs. That should be standard here. They're both really goated, and they're some of the best characters I've ever seen, and they're really good characters. But I especially have a huge love for Simone and his story. Gurren Lagann is probably my second favorite anime, tied with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. For number one, actually. And if you haven't watched Gurren Lagann and you are wary of spoilers in this death battle, I suggest maybe leaving the video and checking it out. It's on Netflix right here. As you can see, it's on Netflix. Or you could just go to whatever place you go to watch your anime. It's peak fiction, and in my opinion. And yeah, that's pretty cool. I have some pretty good expectations for this battle, actually. I hope that they do both my boys justice, especially Simone. And as for who wins, this is actually very close. It's probably one of the closest fights they'll ever have. And but I feel like, and it could really go either way, but I feel like they're gonna go with Kyle Rayner because DC Herald go crazy, and there might be some sort of comic that I don't know that actually buffs him a little bit to be higher than Simone already has. But Simone can still take him pretty much, and this episode has a lot of creative potential here. Given both characters, there's a lot you can work with, and I genuinely want to see how they're gonna pull this off, because this is actually one of the best matchups they'll probably ever do. And I'm really excited for this one. So I hope you enjoy this video. Like or subscribe, and join the Discord. I'll put the link for the Discord in the description, and we'll make it in. Alright. Just waiting 15 more minutes now. 14 minutes. So we got 3 minutes left. I just want to say before we can begin that this matchup, like I said, involves two goated people right here. It's like the Lantern version of Goku versus Superman, and no matter who wins, please be respectful and civil in the comments. I just have to let you know that. And I'd say, yes, a real man never speaks ill of either Simone the Digger or Kyle Rayner. They're both goated, and even if Simone loses, I will pay my respects to Kyle Rayner over here. He did I hope that both of these dudes do a very good job in their fight. And well, that's pretty much all I have to say for these two before we can begin. But I'm rooting for you, Simone. And Kyle Rayner, I have a feeling you might win, but I have my hopes up for Simone here. He's a GOAT. Oh, we'll just wait for a moment. Even if it's like 2 more minutes, then we still have to wait like 3 more. because that's how these premieres do stuff for whatever reason. Like 3 or 1 minute or 1 minute and a half. It is just like that. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Do the impossible, see the invisible. Row, row, fight the POWAH. Touch the untouchable, break the unbreakable. Row, row, fight the POWAH. Let's begin.
Simone the Digger, Kyle Rayner, the White Lantern. 2 men born of Earth with the willpower to pierce the heavens and conquer infinity. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Deep underground, POWAH Village lived in dreary isolation, oblivious to the wider world above their squalid cave. That's where the hero of our story comes in. The young man who would lead his comrades into the sunlight at last. Kamina, the great and mighty. Oh, and his little brother from another mother, Simone. He was there too, I guess. Simone was a digger, content to drill endlessly through the dirt, until the day he found the core drill. The key that activated the mysterious buried mech that Kamina named Lagann. Under his magnificently masculine leadership, Kamina finally drilled their way to freedom, seeing the sun after a life in the dark. But the sky was by no means the limit. The surface was ruled by the cruel chimeric beastmen, and Kamina would lead his compatriots against them to reclaim the Earth for humanity. Scoring a second mech in the process, aptly named Gurren. And as befits Kamina and Simone's unbreakable brotherly bond, Gurren and Lagann merged, creating Gurren Lagann. With Kamina piloting the body and Simone the head, these two were unstoppable.
Hell yeah, baby.
All the giant fighting robots in all the animes across history, Gurren Lagann might just be the absolute coolest. Fueled by its pilot's willpower and capable of making any weapon they can imagine, including missiles, a jetpack, a sunglasses boomerang, and of course, drills! Wrist-mounted drills, kunai drills, shield drills, kamehameha drills, and everyone's favorite,
Giga Drill Brain!
Side note, it is so funny that the only thing they could think of was drills. That's like if I made booze or something, my whole personality. With Gurren Lagann's awesome power, Kamina laid waste to enemy forces, liberated human villages, and fomented a rebellion against the Beastmen King, Lord Janot. Until Kamina died. Oh, wait, shit, was that supposed to happen? Nope, and it was all Simone's fault. He let his willpower waver, and his soul brother paid the price. After all, he was just a humble digger, at home in the darkness, guided solely by the light of Kamina's spirit. So his big bro left him with these final words. Have faith in the Simone who believes in you. Damn. Kamina was the one looking up to him the whole time.
That's right,
Simone
baby.
Who found Lagann. Simone who pierced the surface, and Simone who would now lead humanity to victory.
Yeah.
Especially with his gal pal Nia at his side, who helped pull him out of his rut and kick Lord Janot's ass. But
No diff
victory
by a
only
car
lasted
key.
7 years before the anti-spiral attacked. Unimaginably powerful godlike aliens, the anti-spiral feared humanity's potential, what they dubbed the spiral nemesis. Remember how Gurren Lagann runs on fighting spirit? Turns out that's just a manifestation of spiral power, an energy that all spiral beings, like humans, have. That's right, the laws of physics run on chutzpah. Just as the spiral turned inward represents endless obsession and madness, the spiral turned
Hey,
outward
Johnny
spins
Joestar.
forever into infinity, the perfect representation of humanity's evolutionary potential. Potential Simone would use as he led Team Dai Gurren across the multiverse to take the fight to the anti-spiral. And this is when Gurren Lagann gets crazy. Channeling spiral power lets you constantly adapt to threats, no matter how overwhelming. Simone can create portals to different realities and higher dimensions. He can generate force fields, absorb energy attacks, and even merge Gurren Lagann with bigger and stronger machines. Creating the Arc Gurren Lagann, which is strong enough to shatter space and time with a punch. Or the Super Galaxy Gurren Lagann, which can fire lasers that are fast enough to hit, and I quote, all time, space, and dimensions. All within
Yep.
a plot
Probability
instant. That's the smallest
and
unit of
alternation
time physically
missiles.
possible. Meaning each laser would have to be moving 4.6 times 10 to the 117th power times faster than light.
That's a lot.
Well, looks like this wins the award for fastest calculated speed feat in our show's history.
Again.
Congratulations, Gurren Lagann. Move over, SpongeBob. You've been dethroned.
No way.
An innumerable number of enemies across infinite universes. You literally cannot calculate how fast that is. But it wasn't enough to escape the Anti-Spiral's greatest trap, the multiverse labyrinth.
It's
An
a
attack that
Requiem.
imprisons Simon in his own unique multiverse, forced to experience an infinite number of alternate realities that controlled his mind, permanently arresting him in a dream world. Except Simon and his spiral power are just built different, and after being inspired by his bro, Simon absorbed that whole multiverse to escape. What makes this even more impressive is that this
Hey,
labyrinth was
the drama
open
CD.
dimensional. Meaning, Simon absorbed a higher dimensional structure several orders of infinity
Translation
greater than
error.
himself. The jump
Huh.
between dimensions is basically infinite. Each new dimension adds a new direction of space that extends infinitely. Thus, an
Infinite.
infinite gap in size and scope. What? Oh, we're just getting started. Imagine a two-dimensional drawing interacting with a three-dimensional person. Okay, that's not too far off from what actually happened. Because when Simon absorbed the multiverse labyrinth, he merged with every alternate universe version of himself, including an alternate universe Simon who is writing his own alternate universe version of Gurren Lagann. And that author's spiral power made his fictional Simon real. Adding another to the mix. Wait,
Damn.
every human being
That's
has
crazy.
spiral
I've heard
power?
of this
You're
before.
telling me we can all do this shit? This all gave our Simone enough spiral power to form the next step in mecha evolution. Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
Yep.
This is when Gurren Lagann gets actually fucking crazy. Like shooting missiles that alter probability so they have 100% chance
That's
of
the
hitting
one
you,
I'm thinking
or
about.
tossing galaxies around like frisbees. Sorry,
In-
did I say galaxies? I meant universe.
Yeah.
Simon's power was so immense that he started generating super spiral space, a higher dimension encompassing our own universe. With it, Simon turns his thoughts into reality, letting him create his mech and all of its weapons in the first place. Not only does this mean he no longer needs co-pilots, he can also regenerate any damage done to him or his mech just by willing it back into existence. Like when Lord Genome used spiral power to survive quantum breakdown, or the time Nia, now the best wife in the universe, used spiral power to constantly regenerate her body from being erased at the informational level. For 7 days.
That is not.
Information in physics is essentially the ones and zeros that make up every possible outcome in reality. Nia literally regenerated from the statistical certainty of her own destruction. If I have spiral power, whiz, where the fuck is my leg growing back? When even this was not enough for the anti-spiral, Simon evolved one more time into
Super Tengen Toppa.
Gurren Lagann! This mech is so big, its size is literally incalculable. And with a drill somehow even larger than that, Simon and his friends shattered the anti-spiral once and for all. Hey, cruel indifference of the universe! Meet the indomitable human spirit!
Yeah. Just beating him.
Simon's drill is the drill that would pierce the heavens. With no more worlds left to conquer, Simon chose to wander the earth for the rest of his days, in service to others, always looking up. For all the lights in the sky are stars, and every star another world of spiral cousins that can live free. All thanks to a humble digger.
Absolute cinema, everybody.
The universe is a dangerous place. Should you find yourself face to face with an interdimensional vampire,
Oh, that's
alien
right.
dictators, or this one really pissed off cat, you know who to call. The Green Lantern Corps. They're
Yeah.
Space Fuzz, an intergalactic police force founded billions of years ago by blue leprechaun gods. And the greatest Green Lantern among them was everyone's favorite, Hal Jordan. You know him. You love him. You might hate him.
I love that
But
reference.
you gotta respect the man
Oh,
with
man.
a will as unbreakable as Hal's. Until the day his will broke. After his hometown got completely obliterated, Hal lost his mind. He rampaged through the Corps, killing everyone everyone in his path and absorb the central power battery, the literal Green Lantern, becoming the Emerald Tyrant, Parallax. There was only one survivor of Parallax's killing spree, Ganthet. And with what remained of his strength, he gave the last Green Lantern ring in the universe to a human, Kyle Rayner. So, was Kyle picked for his indomitable willpower like Hal was? He was just there. He had no idea.
Yeah, he was just chosen at random.
Being given the most dangerous magical weapon in existence to figure out on your own. Hey, if Colonel Sanders, Daffy Duck, Space Wheat, and a sentient fox can master it, what's your excuse, Kyle? The Green Lantern ring can do anything, fulfilling any wish its user desires as though it were a genie from a lamp. It lets you fire energy blasts, create force fields, affect gravity, turn invisible and intangible, manipulate matter, time travel, warp reality, and erase things from existence. Think we're sorry? Well, consider the time Kyle stretched the very fabric of space to increase the Planck length a billion times over. That's like stretching an inch into a light year. Lanterns control time and space, letting them fly so fast they can create a speed force singularity. Tapping into the speed force requires entering a higher dimension of space, requiring speeds that are not only faster than light, but totally immeasurable. And the rings have an artificial intelligence that operates just as fast, automatically protecting its user from danger. Like the time that Boozer Kilowog survived being erased from existence by the crisis on Infinite Earth. The ring is fueled by its user's willpower and limited only by their imagination. While Hal may have had the greatest willpower in the Corps, Kyle's imagination is unmatched.
Most creative one.
He's a comic book artist, and we know from this show they think of some wild shit. But the Lantern's most recognizable ability is their constructs, Kyle's speciality. Samurai armor, pirate ships, giant dragons, actual working home computers, and his favorite, super fighting robots. Hey, that one looks familiar.
Hey, Gurren.
Make them strong enough to lift the Spectre, who weighs as much as eternity. Or hold back a 12.3 dimensional Big Bang. Wait, 0.3? DC's multiverse has 12.3 dimensions? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. The ring's only downside is that it's limited to 24 hours before needing a recharge. So it can blow up universes, but it has the battery of an iPhone. Never mind, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Although I'd say Kyle's biggest weakness was Kyle. With great power came no responsibility. Perhaps a manifestation of Kyle's self-doubt. Any reflection came too late, though, when one of Kyle's villains brutally murdered his girlfriend, Alex, and put her body in a fridge.
Ouch!
He wasn't the only one traumatized. This moment was so infamous, it started the trope called
God.
For how female characters are often sacrificed as mere plot devices to further a male
you know
character's
this.
So it might surprise you that it happened to Kyle again. Kyle finally got serious. He became a prominent member of the Justice League, faced off against Hal, and even rebuilt the Green Lantern Corps better than ever. But little did he know, this torchbearer's greatest journey had only just begun. In order to save Ganthet from an emotional lobotomy, it's a long story, he had to master all the colors of the emotional electromagnetic spectrum. There are 7 colors, each representing a different emotion. The yellow light of fear lets Kyle manipulate the worst horrors in your mind. The more scared you are of him, the stronger he becomes. Orange light is fueled by bottomless avarice, possessing Kyle to absorb not merely his enemies' attacks, but also their souls. Red is rage, ripping out Kyle's heart and replacing his blood with napalm, which sounds like it sucks, but it's metal as hell. Blue light is powered by hope and allows Kyle to heal wounds, resist mental domination, and supercharge his ring. Indigo is compassion, reducing his opponent's will to fight and letting him open portals across space, connecting him to others. The final one was the sapphire light of love. With it, he can trap enemies within crystal matrices and control their minds. But Kyle only mastered it by forgiving himself for Alex's tragic death. Oh, self-love. I get it. Must be nice. And with their powers combined, he doesn't just make his enemies taste the rainbow. The lights of the spectrum merged, and Kyle became a white lantern with total control over the power of life. Wiz, I cannot think of an attack more useless in a death battle than something that makes you live. Empowered by the physical embodiment of all life in the DC multiverse, Kyle is vastly more powerful than any other lantern in existence.
Yeah.
Far stronger than hell. Who could harness the energy of every power battery across the multiverse? Not only can Kyle instantly heal all wounds, purify corruption, and resurrect the dead, the white light of life is strong enough to go up against threats to all of creation, like the Anti-Monitor.
Oh.
Okay, so it's not totally useless. Especially after Kyle visited the Source and acquired the life equation. Essentially the source code to reality. The life equation is mathematical proof.
But I heard he doesn't have that much control over it.
Alter all of reality at a whim, even threatening the new gods like Darkseid. The life equation, like its counterpart, the anti-life equation, is a conceptual artifact from a higher reality, originating in a platonic realm that is, in a sense, more real than we are. So it's not a shock that the equation made Kyle too powerful.
Yeah.
He struggled to control it, and it subconsciously manifested a being composed of his fears and anxieties. Oblivion. Kyle's greatest weakness was still himself. Kyle spent his whole life struggling with the power that the gods granted him, and throughout it all, he always rose to the occasion, carrying the universe on his back. But ultimately, the only way to stop power from corrupting is to spread it.
Yep.
So Kyle split the life equation into pieces to found his second core, the White Lanterns. And together, they shattered Oblivion, destroying the self-doubt that plagued Kyle once and for all. Not bad for a comic book geek from LA. And now he was the one giving out rings of unlimited power to people who weren't sure if they could command it. So he told them the truth. You can't teach someone how to use such power. You have to learn yourself, making mistakes along the way.
That's
But with
right.
the power of life at their command, there's no end to their journey, only endless beginnings.
That's right, baby.
Hey, remember Beerus versus Sailor Galaxia?
Yeah.
No? Well, that's because it was taken off YouTube for being too anime.
Ouch.
We've got a solution. It's our own website.
Yeah, that's cool.
Deathbattle.gg. It's like our own private Patreon, with a store for Death Battle merch and a complete Death Battle video archive.
Yep.
It's got episodes that YouTube has banned, blocked, and censored, and there's
It's
more
back.
goodies on the way. So check out deathbattle.gg
GG.
live right now.
Woo! Well, let's, we're getting to the fight, huh?
All right, the combatants
That's our
are
set.
and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle! I believe in you, Simone. Believe in the Stork who believes in you. Oh, whoa.
Alright, I'm not rusty at all.
Catch.
Hey dude, Green Lantern Officer Kyle Rayner here. Ring says you've got a Class A galactic super weapon, whatever that is. I'm thinking it's the giant mech. Why don't you hand it over?
Gurren Lagann's mine, officer. Just who the hell do you think you are?
Ooh. Balrog. Hey, Poltergust from Luigi's Mansion. And turn into a dragon.
Tell me about it.
Four?
Oh. Golf. Hey.
That's nothing! My drill will pierce the heavens!
Yeah, baby. Oh. That was too quick. That's actually way too quick. Oh. Boom.
I'm a lantern. We do the impossible. See the invisible. Touch the untouchable.
Break the unbreakable.
If you ain't know,
Now you know. Yeah, the best swing ever.
Simone the Digger! If there's a hole in my way, I'll smash it down!
Whoa! To the other side. Oh boy.
Stop fighting. Think about your fear of death, your love of your friends.
Oh boy.
Your hope for the future. Choose life. Have faith in the Simon.
Kamina!
Believes in you.
Let's go! Yo! Die! Woo! Oh boy. Yo! That's nice, bro. Absolute. Holy crap. Yeah. And he made his own drill. Well, I don't know how this is gonna end. Will it end in peak? Oh, ho, ho, ho. Row, fight the power.
The super weapon wasn't your mech. It was me. Then, Simon, I'm taking you in brightest day.
Yes! Fist fight!
No evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green
Into the light! Come on! What? What? Wait, what?
You'd make a good lantern.
What?
Simon of Earth, you have been chosen.
What?
Just who the hell do you think I am?
No way! No way! What? 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 No way! No way! There's gotta be at least one more thing. I have a feeling this might be
Take speed.
there's no way.
Infinite number of targets.
That's what I'm talking about! I don't want to speak too soon because there might be a little...
When you control space and time,
What?
things like strength and speed kind of become irrelevant.
Instead, let's analyze them through a lens more applicable to beings as absurd as Simone and Kyle. Their
What?
imagination, their willpower, and their ultimate
Potential.
First up, imagination. The boundless things they could conjure to use against the other. Both could think up just about anything the other could, like absorbing each other's attacks,
Yeah.
running across time, anything.
Simone did have a few attacks that Kyle hasn't encountered, like the probability-altering missiles, but it's likely Kyle could adapt considering his ring could protect against existence being erased across the multiverse.
Oh my god, I'm
And in
tweaking here.
general, Kyle's constructs were a lot more
Yeah,
creative
Kyle
than
has the
Simone's
more
arsenal, which was
imagination,
mostly
doesn't he?
drills. Though again, nothing Simone couldn't adapt to with, say, his energy absorption. Imagination is a draw.
That leaves
Oh,
the other
it's a
main
draw.
factor for both characters,
That's
the
interesting.
origin of their unbelievable might, their willpower.
And that's really gonna be the winning factor here, since it's the source of everything for both of them. Whoever's got the stronger willpower wins.
Both can manipulate reality on a multiversal scale with their willpower, but we can use dimensions to roughly calculate a difference. This might sound absurd for most characters, but it's necessary for beings as beyond the pale as Simone and Kyle.
The multiverse labyrinth that Simone absorbed contained 11 spatial dimensions. That's 1.3 dimensions less than the multiverse.
Yeah,
Kyle
that's the
threatened.
weird part.
Each numbered dimension infinitely surpasses the one below it.
Which meant Kyle's willpower was stronger at a base level.
Base
However,
form.
that doesn't necessarily mean Kyle gets the edge, because if there's one thing both of these guys are known for, it's that they can always get stronger.
So to determine the limits
yeah.
of their willpower, we first need to understand their full potential.
Okay.
The spiral power is how he can constantly evolve to get
Yeah,
stronger.
Simone
Because
definitely
Simone
has that
starts off
potential.
weird doesn't mean
Because
he'll
he's
get
always...
Absorbing
Yeah,
the
yeah, I get it.
required Simone to leap
Even the
over several
anti-spiral was, I
levels of
think,
infinity
stronger
in
than
an
him
instant.
before he
Simone
could take him
made
down
himself
fully.
that much stronger through sheer
Freaking-
force of will.
More than
He had to only be reduced to his base form to be the anti-spiral.
Also lets him regenerate
That's
his
the
body
thing.
down to an informational level. Kyle's never destroyed something that thoroughly before.
Without the ability to easily kill Simone, it was only a matter of time before Kyle's ring ran low on charge. Especially
Yeah.
since Simone could likely regenerate for at least a week straight, like Nia did. While Blue Lantern Light could boost
Holy
Kyle's
crap.
power, he's never jumped several orders of infinity in strength like Simone has.
And while Kyle could manipulate emotions to reduce Simone's willpower, Simone resisting the labyrinth's mental manipulation meant he could power through anything Kyle threw at him.
Except for the life equation.
The life
it originated
equation.
from a higher level of reality and would have more than even the odds.
Too bad Kyle couldn't control it. It was just as much a detriment to him as an asset. forcing him
Oh.
to relinquish it to keep from destroying reality and
That's
himself.
fair. That's
Simone
fair.
emerged with a version of himself writing a version of Gurren Lagann and using spiral power to make that fiction into reality.
A pretty similar level of reality to the life equation, and a level of power Simone had no trouble embracing and mastering by the end of his story. No matter how you look at it, Simone might start weaker, but his peak will always transcend Kyle's.
Yeah.
Isn't that how all of Simone's battles usually go anyway?
That is true.
In a nutshell.
So Simone's incredible potential eclipsed Kyle, which means his willpower was ultimately greater. Kyle
Damn.
embodied life itself.
Damn.
Simone
GG's
possessed
Kyle Rayner.
the
You did good.
potential
You
of
did
shattering
very,
the
very, very
mixed
good.
light.
You did very good, my friend.
The fight, because
But
when it comes to death battle losers, he was a dead ringer.
The winner is Simone the Digger.
Next time.
Wait.
on
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT. Remember that, kids. But Kyle Rayner, you did very good. You did a good job. I applaud you for that. You did your very, very, very best. All right? Even if Simone is my GOAT, you're still GOATed. Remember, kids, two legends can in fact coexist. And those two legends are Simone and Kyle Rayner. W. Simone, GG's Kyle, you did good. And you know what? 10 out of 10. 10 out of freaking 10. Best death battle ever. Alright, let's see what's the next time.
Battle.
Yo! We're doing it! It's from one peak to another. It's freaking Wile E. Coyote versus
Subscribe
Tom.
and join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
Damn. Holy crap. That was peak. Absolute cinema. This episode was good. This was good. We were eating good today, boys. Alright, kids. That's gonna be enough for today. Woo! Remember, kids, believe in the you who believes in yourself. Grit those teeth. When you are feeling down, you get yourself back up. Whew. Whew. Dear God. To be honest, I thought there was going to be another fake out. Just Kyle breaking through the screen. But no. No. That was peak. That was peak and I love it. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.